How y'all doing? Rob Pravache here. I'm at my studio. I'm finally out of my 2-week quarantine and on a new daily regimen, even though business is shut right down. My goal is to get up in the morning, shower, dress up, shave, do my exercises, have a good positive daily regimen, eat well, and come to the studio and act like as if everything eventually is going to go back to normal, which I believe it will. So I want to talk to you about this principle called accurate thinking, which was created by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, highly recommend it. But in this book that he wrote much later in life, Grow Rich Through Peace of Mind, he talked about this concept called accurate thinking. You could really look at it this way. Accurate thinking is being objective versus being subjective. Being subjective meaning your own personal quirks, your emotions are really clouding your ability to see things for what they truly are. So let me give you an example. This happened recently in my life. My daughter Danielle, she's 24 years old. A couple mornings ago she got up, and she's in quarantine with us too. And she's in school and she's working and blah, blah, blah. And she had an issue. She was upset, clearly upset. And I know when she's upset, I can tell. I can just look at her. And she started talking. And as soon as she started talking, that just verified that she's upset. She's got an issue going on. So I knew, don't start trying to fix it or give her advice. I just knew, listen to what she has to say. This is important. This is an important step to achieving accurate thinking. So I listened and I listened. And at some point in time, I knew that I had to ask her if she wanted advice. See, my daughter, for the most part, oddly enough, appreciates the advice that I give her. And I value that. I think it's really, really cool. But I got to time it. And when there's a situation like that, when she's clearly upset and she's dealing with something, I can't just barge in there and say, here's what you got to do. That's not going to work. So at some point in time, I knew it was right. And I had, by the way, I was making a few notes, writing things down. I said, okay, so do you want some feedback on this? And I was ready to say, that's fine. If she would have said, no, I don't want to talk about it. But she, 99.99% of the time, she's like, her eyes light up and she says, yeah, I'd like to know what you have to say about this. So I said, I want you to understand this principle called accurate thinking. And Dan Kennedy talks about it a lot too. Dan Kennedy, my favorite marketing / entrepreneurial coach, leader, said that one of the most important keys to success is your immunity to remain immune to criticism. So that's part of accurate thinking. So, and I told her, I said, look, accurate thinking is about remaining autonomous and independence. And to achieve that, you have to ask yourself, what's really going on here? And then you have to ask yourself, well, how much do I care about what's going on? How much of it does it really matter to me? How much does it affect me? And make decisions based on what is closer to the truth than what you think the truth is at the time when you're in a state of clear, upset, emotional state sort of scenario. And also not knowing exactly what's going on. So part of the scenario, part of achieving accurate thinking is, it's a mental process. You got to be very proactive, and it goes beyond critical thinking. You have to ask for more information, and you have to get a clear take on what the truth is what's going on at the time. So you have to ask questions. I mean, it could just be a misunderstanding. So she really liked what I had to say. And I could tell her eyes lit up. And she said, that was really good, Dad. Where'd you get that? And I told her where. And I suggested she read some of that stuff. And, she's done school in 2 weeks and she's going to be going on her own. It's good to have this kind of information to bring into life as you're going into life. It's good for anybody of any age, especially if you're in business for yourself. And especially if you're in your business and you're shut down, you're struggling. I mean, we're all struggling right now. So yeah, something to think about. And I gave her a lot to think about, and it really helped her get clarity, and she was quite appreciative. And I think that's so cool to have that kind of connection with my daughter. And accurate thinking, it just puts you in a much, much better place. All right, thanks for listening.